Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rishi, and I'm going to be taking you through today's severe weather forecast brought to you by Effective Weather. There's really no time to waste as things are already underway, so let's just get right into it, shall we? So, in terms of the overall overview of everything, we do have a moderate risk that was recently introduced for Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. This is the second one in just 3 days, which honestly is quite surprising to us here at Effective Weather, but this is what the SBC wants, and after seeing the rest of this video, we hope that you will agree. The main risks will be for significant hail and a few potentially strong to intense tornadoes across the region. There is a marginal risk, however, up in Illinois and Indiana, where a cold core setup could develop later this afternoon. Aside from the severe event, however, there is a moderate risk for excessive rainfall in effect for the hearts of Alabama and Georgia. So with current conditions, normally we would talk about the majority of the nation, but we're just going to focus on those two regions just because there's very little time to explain. Across the deep south, there is a quasi-stationary warm front, as you can see here, draped from Texas all the way across to the South Carolina coastline. This is where most of the activity will be focused today and will also serve almost as a northern boundary to everything. That being said, storms can and potentially will be forming north of this warm front as well, just because of forcing. Elsewhere, there is a low currently centered over Iowa. This is a little bit of prognostic, so this is a little bit in the future from when we initially put this slide deck together. The low is generally moving eastward and will be where our cold core setup will develop. So in Indiana and Illinois, basically what that means is that there's going to be a lot less energy, but potentially a lot of shear that will allow potentially for a tornado or two to develop over the course of the afternoon. So near term, there's a moderate risk in place from Louisiana into Mississippi and Alabama. Initiation will be around 3 to 5 p.m. Central Daylight Time. In this, it will likely occur somewhere within the Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi region, and then will progress eastward throughout the risk. There is also that cold core setup as well, which will develop at some point in the afternoon. We're not sure exactly when. So let's just go through here. So first off, we have the wind risk areas. So the highlight of everything is going to be the 30% wind risk region here, which is progged for the far northeastern region of Louisiana into the heart of Mississippi and west central Alabama. This is a 30% risk for 60-mile-an-hour winds or greater associated with these severe thunderstorms that will be rolling through the area. There is also that small chance here up in the upper Midwest that exists. So we do also have a hail threat to address. This is actually a rather high one. This is a 45% significant hail threat. And significant hail is defined as anything greater than or equal to the size of baseballs. Baseball-sized hail is enough to cause serious property damage, and if you or any other living being is caught outside in these hailstorms, it will cause serious bodily harm. So it is very important that you are indoors if you are under any sort of severe warning or if storms are rolling your way. Now, for the main talk of the day, the tornado threat. We do have a 15% significant risk, again, for the Mississippi and Alabama. The significant threat does extend all the way to the Texas-Louisiana border, however, and extends all the way out to the Alabama-Georgia border. So, significant tornadoes are EF2+. Now, as you know, just a few nights ago, we have had preliminary tornado ratings of EF4 and EF3 in Mississippi. So the same region, just a little further south, is going to be potentially seeing more significant tornadoes, and that is never a good sign. We're going to have to see what actually ends up happening today, but just be aware that the potential is there for more significant tornadoes, very close proximity to where there were previously strong tornadoes. There is also that small 2% risk here in Illinois, just south of Chicago. So the Chicago metro area, you are pretty much out of the risk, but I would still watch anything that develops to your south, as storms will be moving generally to the northeast or to northeast into your region, and if they sustain for just a little bit longer than they're expecting, they can definitely impact the Chicago metro. So just keep that in mind. Now, here we have two weather models. I have the 12Z NAM 3 kilometer on the left-hand side of your screen, and on the right-hand side, we have the 15ZH So NAM 3 kilometer is the North American model, resolved to 3 kilometer or roughly 2 mile resolution. And then we have the HRRR, which is slightly less resolved as the NAM 3 kilometer, but is still able to refresh every single hour, whereas the NAM 3 kilometer takes every 6 hours. So I have everything slated so that all the frames are synced up, and we can see how everything is unfolding. So the NAM 3 kilometer is a little less bullish than the HRRR. It doesn't produce as many strong to severe storms. However, it doesn't really do too well with initiation. So, but it does show that the parameter space is there for things to develop. It's just a matter of how many actually do, according to the model. With the HRRR, however, things are a lot more interesting. We have a lot of storms that pop up into the Louisiana, Mississippi area that then progress eastward across Alabama. Now, there is also some activity down here in the western parts of Louisiana, which then again pushes eastward through the state. So the name of the game today will be training severe thunderstorms. And there's a chance that some regions that get impacted by one round of storms may get hit by another. And that is going to be the serious threat here. It's going to be multiple rounds. It's not going to be one and done. It's going to be multiple. So you got to be making sure that you are staying well close to shelter, regardless of what stage of the day you're in. So here's a look at the same two models, same two timeframes. This is looking at CAPE and the photographs. So this specifically the surface-based CAPE. So what this means is how much energy is available in the atmosphere for storms to take hold of. And this is specifically for storms that are able to reach all the way to the ground and get their energy from the surface. So you can see both the NAM 3 kilometer and the HRRR want there to be quite a bit of energy available for these storms to take advantage of. The photographs also start out rather straight, but then they start getting that clockwise loop to them, and that's where you get that tornado threat to develop. So again, both of these models do want basically the same thing to happen, but as you can really see in the HRRR, you can see especially right in here, the storms are developing, but energy is coming right back in. That's showing why there's going to be multiple rounds of severe thunderstorms. So it's very important that you're paying attention to the weather, regardless of what time of day it is for you. So in the longer term, however, the SPC does cite the risk for more severe weather from the 30th into the 31st. There is some model disagreement as to when exactly will happen and what type of mode, but the regions are significantly large. I haven't really seen too many extended risk regions this large without a 30% risk introduced in them, so it is definitely important that you take note of this. So these are the day 5 and day 6 contours. Day 5 exists from central Texas all the way into Kansas. Day 6 goes from Texas all the way up into central Iowa and back down into western parts of Kentucky and Tennessee. So definitely make sure that if you are anywhere in this region, you are watching the weather for late next week. So with all that being said, there is a current severe thunderstorm watch in place for southern Alabama. This is severe thunderstorm watch number 86 in effect till 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Current thinking is that a few supercells capable of strong winds and large hail will develop and move across to the region over the next few hours. However, a tornado or two cannot be ruled out. In fact, the threat for tornadoes will actually be gradually increasing with time. So early on, it'll be mainly for wind and hail, but toward the end of the time period, we will see more of the tornado threat developing. This is post-recording Rishi here. After recording the initial video, the SPC issued a new tornado watch, which is in effect from eastern Texas all the way across Louisiana. This is tornado watch number 87. Current thinking with this watch is that supercells will continue to develop across the region. They'll be capable of all threats, including very large hail, strong winds, and a few tornadoes. Now, bear in mind, as with the severe thunderstorm watch I just mentioned, that the overall threat will be increasing with time, so it is very important that you are on your toes with any of the storms that develop in this area. With all that being said, we do have our Discord server. You can join us with the link down below, and you can be able to get some more up-to-date information there. We will be going live this afternoon. At what time, we're still uncertain due to the uncertainty in timing, but we will be going live at some point to cover this severe weather event. We'll see you there on YouTube. Take care.